Hey, Kathy's gone her way. There she is. Alrighty.
Moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Hudson. Resolved that the regular meeting commenced at the hour of 7 p.m. And be it further resolved that Council acknowledges that we are meeting in the Robinson Superior Treaty Area on lands that have been traditionally used by several Indigenous nations. But we would like to pay special recognition to our closest Indigenous neighbors, to the communities of Bitigo, Anishinaabe, and Pic-Mobert First Nation. We wish to recognize the long history of the First Nations and Métis people in our region specifically and show respect to them today. All in favor? I'll call the meeting to order.
One addition to the agenda, under closed session, item number 1501, section 239(2)B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, CAO position.
Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Moffat. Resolved that the agenda be approved as amended. All in favor? Thank you. Is there any disclosure of personal or pecuniary interest? Seeing none. There's no delegations or presentations, so we'll move to adopt the minutes of the previous meeting. And you said there was...
Yes, thank you, Mayor, through the chair. I noticed that there was an error on the minutes that were put on the agenda. They had February 11th. It should have been February 10th, and I've made those corrections.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Hudson. Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting held on February 10th, 2021 are adopted as circulated. All in favor? Thank you. There are no petitions. We have correspondence. One item. Do we need to discuss it, or we're okay with it?
Good.
Good.
Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Moffat. Resolved that correspondence item number 0801 be received and filed. All in favor? Thank you. Reports and committees. Nothing. A verbal update by acting CAO.
Thank you. Through the chair, I'm sure many people have seen the local news today that there's an active case in COVID in Manitouwadge today. The Santé Manitouwadge Health issued a press release this afternoon. And as well, Thunder Bay, on the Thunder Bay District region, the numbers are growing. There was 42 new cases today. It has into the vulnerable sector residents now in Thunder Bay, and so in the shelters and homeless people and people of that nature. So it's hard to control and hard to manage, and they're getting tapped out resources in Thunder Bay. So we're expecting to see an announcement tomorrow or Friday that we could be back into gray and back into the stay-at-home order. The province, when we lifted the emergency declaration and we come out of it the other day and went back to red, they put provisions in called the emergency break and leave that up to the discretion of each local health unit to decide what's appropriate for them. But I talked to folks in Thunder Bay today, and the situation is getting pretty serious. So we're hoping for the best, and certainly wish our resident a speedy recovery, and that. So we'll just keep monitoring and keep council advised and the residents. We have spoke with Mayor McEachran, and we're planning on Friday morning to put out an update video to the community on the status, whether we have an announcement from Janet DeMills, the medical officer of health in Thunder Bay by then or not, but at least we can inform the residents and ensure everybody has the best information that we have going into the weekend. As well, the Recreation Department has been working on virtual programming. They've started running some stuff in the community via Zoom and other social media venues. They did a boot camp already. They have yoga lined up and some other stuff for the community. So we encourage you to look at our social media, Facebook, and the website for the municipality, and people could potentially get involved in those activities as part of their recreational outlet. So, good. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no bylaws tonight, so we'll move to business. Moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Hudson. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report TR 2021-05, submitted by Chris Towns, Treasurer, regarding the Municipal Asset Management Plan. You're on, Mr. Towns.
Thank you. So if you recall, last regular meeting of Council, we had May Abdu from Public Sector Digest present our asset management plan. As per Regulation 588/17, Council needs to approve that plan through resolution. As simple as that.
Now, are there any questions about the plan?
So you're
or-
just,
We just need to formalize it.
are there any highlights or anything we should?
No, we
know,
sat through the presentation. You were provided
Same.
the asset management plan. May Abdu had given us the full presentation. There were no further questions. Mayor McEachran had a few. They were addressed. If there's anything further,
No.
please ask. And if not, to formalize this and to meet the regulation, we need to pass this by resolution.
All right, let's pass
Yeah,
on by
I think there was
resolution.
no questions.
No, everything got answered?
We were pretty satisfied with the last presentation.
As I made through the chair, this is a dynamic document. There will be changes. In
Oh, yeah, this
We
is a
update the
working
asset
document.
management and the assets in the plan.
Right.
You will see that evolving and changes to it through that type of work.
And with that, May Abdu had mentioned that we were applied for some funding to get condition assessments, and we recently hired the intern. We solidified that. I believe they start March 15th. So our asset management plan is in effect as presented, and we have a plan moving forward, and it's going to be a good one.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay? And be it further resolved that upon conclusion of Council's review and consideration, Council approves the Municipal Asset Management Plan as presented. All in favor?
Thank you.
Don't go away. The rest of them might know their own
No.
thing is the next one.
No.
Okay, moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Hudson. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report FBA 2021-01, submitted by Owen Cranny, Acting CAO Fire Chief, regarding the CBC Tower Municipal Radio System location. Yes, sir.
Thank you. As in the MIN report, we've been advised by CBC Canada that the large tower that's been across the lake for many years is due to be replaced. And so we'll be going from a 580-foot tower to a 120-foot tower. And that'll meet CBC's needs. Unfortunately, the fire department's been operating their radio equipment up there as long as I've been on the department, and we're at 380 feet. So we have good range now, and once, if that 120 feet, we did a projection map of what our range will be, we're probably going to see a 75% reduction in our radio range. So we're looking at alternatives right now, and when we got into the agreement with Northern Broadband, we were always looking at alternatives and thinking ahead, and so we put provisions and conduit into this building that we can put an antenna on that building and the wire into here, and now with the newly acquired generator, we'd have our own backup in-house. So that won't be the end of what we need to do, but it'll be the first step, and we can do that'll give us a seamless changeover to get off of the CBC tower. The difference between this tower and the 120 there isn't really going to make a big difference. So that I think what we'll do is recommend locating down here, and then for the rescue truck itself, that's the one that goes on the highway calls and does all that stuff where we have a communication problem, and we're looking into other technology for that. Public Works is also up there. We share the antenna with Public Works and the Recreation Channel. So we would move them down here. Their equipment needs to be updated. We would update that as part of the move. And as I mentioned in the report, some of the licensing got a little jiggly over the last few years, and we need to do that and some reprogramming of our Public Works channels and stuff. So the plan is through this move and all that is to straighten all that radio system up for the municipality. If there's any particular questions I could try and answer for you.
Through the chair?
Sure.
I noticed that there was a annual fee that we were paying CBC.
Yes.
Now, moving forward to the Northern Broadband Tower, is there going to be a similar fee?
No,
or is it
it'll
going to be a one-time shot or free? Or?
Well, we'll have to pay for the antenna and the cable and getting it up on top of the tower.
Right.
They haven't indicated any fee to be on their tower. We've talked to them at the beginning, and there was basically, maybe a nominal licensing fee or something, but nothing like what we're paying
So
now.
once we
So
pay
I
the
expect,
transfer,
we'll see $5,000 or $6,000 a year savings.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
So that's kind of the trade-off. We do have to look at the rescue truck communications. There is different systems. There's satellite systems now. There's actually satellite internet and push-to-talk systems and that. As I mentioned in there, I did just sit on a conference call. The province is replacing the old FleetNet system, if you've ever heard that term, which police, ambulance, MTO all use. And fire could get onto that system before. It's expensive, so we wouldn't want to convert our whole system. But for the distance communication, it may be a good alternative, but that's not going to be available till 2022, the end of 22, maybe 23. So we need to look for an interim solution. So once we're able to get the system down here up and running while we're still on the CBC tower, then we can check range and see what kind of coverage, what our shortfalls are, and then know what we need to do to cover up the shortfall area. So I have been talking to Marathon as well. They're going through a similar little bit of a problem, reaching the corner now. So we are talking with them as well about what they're planning on doing and if there's something we can do together. So there's lots of options, and it's a little early to make the decisions as for the alternate technology until we see what the range is like off of this tower.
Okay, and to the chair, this is looking to happen in the spring?
Yes. That's why we're here, for basically to stake the funds in, get pre-budget approval, so we could start the planning, at least getting the secondary system set up down here for fire right away. Then we could have days where we could shut the tower off, run off of this system, make a drive out to 614, for instance, and see how far we get and what kind of coverage we get. We could do some real-world testing is really what we need to do now.
Okay, perfect.
No more questions?
No.
No further questions?
Sounds good.
No, the questions I had have been answered.
We're hoping to have all this completed by October
Okay.
That's good.
of this year.
And be it further resolved that upon conclusion of council's review and consideration, council approves the amount of $25,000 for the relocation of the municipal radio systems, communication coverage for the fire department, public works systems update, and service programming as required for license compliance, and further the council gives pre-budget approval for these funds be provided from the Infrastructure Improvement Reserve Fund 3-1-1013-117. All in favor? And the next item, moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Moffat. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report EDO 2021-01 submitted by Florence McLean, Economic Development Officer, regarding allocation of municipal modernization funds.
Good evening, Council. As the report indicates, in 2019, the municipality received about just over $300,000 from the Municipal Modernization Fund, which were unidentified funds. We could apply them to really any project that we wanted to. We didn't allocate those funds, and recently the province announced a new round of funding for the Municipal Modernization Fund, but one of the criteria to apply is that we have allocated or spent the money that was provided to us in 2019. So we're proposing that we utilize that money towards the repayment costs for the Northern Broadband project. And we had borrowed money from the Community Wellbeing Fund with a repayment schedule. So this will allow us to repay that amount faster and make us eligible to apply for this new round of municipal modernization funding.
Any questions?
And we're still receiving payments from...
Yeah, we will get the other money back
Yes,
from broadband.
so
This is just putting money back in the stabilization fund we used from there and using the attended funding as per Florence's recommendation that we put it towards the broadband project.
Yeah.
It's a house, I don't want to call it housekeeping, but really,
Yeah.
in a sense,
Yeah,
it's
it is
kind of
housekeeping.
catching up on our reserve fund work.
Any further questions?
Through the chair. Just for clarification, so you're replacing the money that was taken from the Wellbeing Fund with this money, but the money that was taken from the Wellbeing Fund is what was used for the Northern Broadband Project?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
And be it further resolved that upon conclusion of Council's review and consideration, Council allocates the unconditional funding provided in March 2019 by the Province of Ontario for the Municipal Modernization Program in the amount of $393,400 to the Township share of the Northern Broadband Infrastructure Project to bring wireless broadband to Manitowoc. All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is a request to support the municipality of Greenstone regarding the resolution Beardsmore EMS base, and the correspondence from Rick Dumas, Mayor of Marathon, regarding discussions on the proposed change to EMS service to the communities in the District of Thunder Bay. Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Moffat. Whereas Council is in receipt of correspondence from municipal district communities regarding the proposed changes to the Superior North Emergency Medical Services, SNEMS, that services the communities in the District of Thunder Bay, and whereas a proposed 2021-2030 paramedic service master plan presented for approval to the City of Thunder Bay has little to no consultation or dialogue with the municipalities, district communities, or First Nations within the Robinson Superior Treaty area on the proposal. And now be it resolved that Council respectfully requests a pause on all the decisions or changes to the service of the EMS until a meaningful full consultation process has been conducted with all district communities, and further request a presentation of data and a clear explanation of how the proposed changes will meet the needs of all district communities. And be it further resolved that this resolution be sent to the Council of the City of Thunder Bay in support of jointly expressing the desire to revisit this proposed plan through a meaningful and thorough consultation process. And I've received a list from the district of all of the councillors' names in Thunder Bay. So when we pass it, if we pass this resolution, I will send a copy to each of the councillors in Thunder Bay with a letter. Any further discussion on that? Or? I think the big thing that they're complaining about, all of the district, is that this proposal was made like 5 or 6 years ago. There was no consultation then. They raised the stink about it, and they put it on hold for 4 or 5 years. Now they're putting it back out exactly the same. No consultation. They just want to make change.
So just for clarification purposes, this is for the ambulance site?
The ambulance, yes, EMS now.
Like they're looking to cut a few sites? Like,
Yes, yeah.
Like was it Beardmore, Terrace Bay?
And
Well,
near Nippigan, there was one by Nippigan too.
Yeah.
well, it'll be Nippigan, Red Rock will be combined to one. Terrace Bay, Schreiber will be combined to one. And at one time, when I was mayor before, they wanted to make us and Manitowoc and Marathon one, and we fought that and won that one. But really, it may still happen, but we believe that there should be consultation. We shouldn't just go ahead and do it.
Correct. And yeah, this letter is for us to support.
That's just to
No
support.
changes,
Yes.
basically.
The Chair, if I may, for
Sure.
a second. I actually sat on this presentation in September. We were told it was going to be a consultation meeting via Zoom. So we sat in, and it was a presentation. We did not have time or opportunity for input. We just listened. My take on the presentation, it was basically a facilities review, nothing about service or meeting the service agreements. I voiced my opinion to that on the call, and I was told that that wasn't the scope of the study. And the study that they did, the consultant they hired, didn't even look at Marathon and Manitowoc. We weren't even mentioned in the study, and this is supposed to be a review of Superior North EMS. So I support what they're asking for you, and also suggest that maybe staff bring a report back to council on Manitowoc's particular situation specifically, that's the thing, and maybe that would help you as you go forward to work on and support some of this stuff as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Thank you. Moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Hudson, whereas Section 239(4) of the Municipal Act 2001 SO 2001 C25 provides that before holding a meeting or part of a meeting that is to be closed to the public, the municipality or local board or committee of either of them shall state by resolution the fact of holding of the closed meeting and the general nature of the matter to be considered at the closed meeting. Now therefore be it resolved that this meeting is hereby closed to the public as the subject matter being discussed falls under the following section. Section 239(2)B, personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, CAO position. All in favor?